Hello. Since I reviewed the Batman, there are now 12 Batman movies to review or rank. I'm not gonna include the Justice League ones because they don't really count as Batman movies. It would be like saying if you ranked Iron Man or the Captain America movies, and you would have to include the Avengers. I'm like, nah. So we have 12, and they're all very different from each other. So this is gonna be an interesting ranking. So starting at number 12, the worst one in my opinion is Batman Robin. I watched this for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and then the whole time I was like, what am I watching? Like, it's just such a weird movie. Like the director was saying that the main point of Batman Robin was to sell toys, and you can see that here. And everything in it was just so bad. Like the acting, the characters, the story, the fight scenes. It was really bad. Like George Clooney as Batman is really bad. Like not even close to what Batman should be. And the villains are really suck. Like of course you got Mr. Freeze with all the puns and like dang, that's cold, bro. And Poison Ivy and like oh like I hope I could you can turn over Lou Leaf. Like, it's so weird. And then Bane, like just like Bane, like what? Like just that's all he does. He just yells, saying Bane like ah, like it's a weird movie. Like it's really bad. And Chris O'Donnell, he's like or Alicia Silverstone, like why are you even here? Like you don't do anything. And then like it would have been better if they took it silly, but like there were moments where they tried to make it serious, like with Alfred like dying. Like it's just such a weird tone. Like it is all over the place, and like you don't know who it's targeted for. Like there's this one moment where Mr. Feast makes all the people like sing like on sing sing, like it's so silly that's that it should be for children, but like there's another scene where you're looking at these close up shots of bat nipples in their butts like it's such a weird movie and it's not good. Everyone did not like it. They all apologized for it many times. Even George Clooney, like he always apologizes for Batman Robin. So it's a mess. Like it, I don't want to watch it again. So it comes in the last place, and in 11th place, I we have Batman in 1966. Now I get that if you grew up with this movie, you think it's just fun for you. Like that's great. Now I'm glad you enjoyed this movie. I just don't. It's super dated. It's so goofy and campy. It, like when Batman punches someone and then it just suddenly pops up a word like it's straight from a comic book, like kapow or biff. Eh, if you like that, that's great. I'm just not like that. I grew up with like the Nolan trilogy and Empires, so I'm not used to all that. The plot is really simple. Like honestly, I don't remember much. This was also first time watch like 2 weeks ago. I like don't remember that much. Like I think it was like the bad guys, Joker, Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, like try to take like the senators of the UN or something, and then they turn them in the sand, and it's up to Batman and Robin to like get them or something. And it's weird, and like Adam West, he's a fine Batman. Like for what he's trying to do, he's good. You know, it's just not for me. Like even like some of the dialogue is weird. Like when they find out who's behind this, like they say things that are so out of nowhere, like like for the riddles that the Riddler is making, and then they found out like you would not find out that way, like oh, like we were at sea, like sea for Catwoman, and they're like, oh, a shark was pulling my leg, the Joker. And like, oh, this is a one big riddle, the Riddler, like. It's like what? Like it's so over the top. Like if you like it, that's great. I'm just not like that. Like there's another scene where like in the beginning, like Batman and Robin are in a helicopter, and Batman is on this ladder dangling, and then a shark is biting his leg, and then Batman asks Robin for the shark repellent. Like it's stuff like that. Like if you like it, then you're gonna like the movie, but if you don't, you're not gonna like it. It's goofy, and it knows it is, so I can give credit for that, but I don't think I'm gonna rewatch this movie again, like maybe once in a while, but yeah, that's it. Number 10th place, I have Batman Forever. This this one gets a lot of hate. I don't think it's bad as people say. I mean, it's not really good, but it has something, like first Val Kilmer. I think he's a good Bruce Wayne. Like when he's Bruce Wayne, he's really great. When he's Batman, again, I don't really know about that. Like even like the dialogue, cause like again, this is from the same director who directed Batman and Robin, so you can see the goofiness. Like the first scene happens is with Alfred say like, "Would you mind taking a sandwich with you, sir?" And then Batman just says like, "I'll get drive through." I'm like you hear that and you immediately know what movie you're watching. Like it's goofy. But it's watchable. Like Jim Carrey is the most Jim Carrey has probably has ever been in this movie as Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones as Two Face. It's just weird. Like he's like he's trying to be Joker, but like his own version. And I don't think it's weird. His makeup doesn't look good either. Like looks so cartoony with half his face like all purple from the acid. Like I get that's from the comics, but like you gotta make it look somehow realistic. Um, and Chris O'Donnell's Robin, he's fine. I mean, I don't really have problems with him. I mean, some of his dialogue is a little weird, and the story of how he becomes Robin, like how he loses family, I'm not real doesn't really grab my attention that much, because this movie in general is just a goofy movie, and maybe there's some fight scenes there here and there that are cool enough. It looks nice. The girl Chase, like she's just so like flirty and towards Batman. Like it's and like oh like she says something like oh these days people like Barbies and stuff, but you know what I think I think it's the black rubber. Yeah, man. And he just touches his chest, like in his nipples and stuff. Like, it's really weird. But then later, it's like Batman comes over to her, but then she's like, oh, like I don't think I love you anymore. You know, I'm in love with someone else, who's Bruce Wayne. It's okay. Like, it's fine. I don't think it's that bad. It's watchable. Like, maybe I'll watch it again if someone wants me to, but on my own, I don't think I would be. So that's where it goes. And in ninth place, um, this is a little controversial, but I'm gonna go with Batman v Superman. I know a lot of people don't like this movie. Like, there's too many plot threads in here, too much stuff going on. And I get that, but there's some good stuff in here, you know? Like, I would give it a good enough score, like, to watch again. It's just that the problem is, like, it's with Warner Bros. Like, they always, like, rush these things. Like, there's a story, like, where after Man of Steel came out, like, not the good reception and the success of, like, the MCU in general, like, Warner Bros. Wanted to, like, do a Batman v Superman like fight, and and already that is your first problem because you didn't have a Batman movie yet, and you're already rushing to get them together and fight and, like, continue to make the Justice League movie. Like, that's very too little to do right now. Or, like, it's that's that's way too fast. You need to spend time on this. That's what's good about the MCU is, like, they took their time making the solo movies and then put them together and then solo again and then even more, because it's all about the time that they make to make the payoff. But what they try to do is just make a little bit of an intro and then go to the team up, but there's no payoff because you didn't set it up properly. And that's their problem. They keep rushing because they're worried that the MCU is, because, like, the MCU is doing very successful. Like, they want to rush to the good stuff. Like, no, it takes time, and that's where they messed up here. And, like, if you gave Zack Snyder, like, 3 movies, you know, because, like, he's a great director. Like, he made this movie, like, good enough given the circumstances, and I think he did almost a good job as maybe anyone would, like with what you had to deal with. So, like, that's just the problem. Like, they just rushed. Like if you just took the time to make a Batman movie, maybe, like, and another Man of Steel movie, and then make this movie, or even make Wonder Woman before you make this movie, this might be much better because you made your setup, like, already there, and then you have your collision, your everyone teaming up because it pays off, and you know you know what you're supposed to know, and then that's how you make it good. So yeah, like, that's what I think. But, like, yeah, the movie, there's so much here going on. Like, Superman, like, getting all sad and stuff, like when he saves people, like, he has a sad face, and Batman's all, like, brooding, like, oh, I have to kill Superman, like he could be dangerous and stuff, blah 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 blah. And then, I mean, I do like this version of Batman. He's, like, really cool, very strong, and, like, that warehouse scene is very great. But, like, this it's just the problem. Like, you just rushed this. There's too much in here to set up, you know. And and even then, like even trying to set up for the Justice League, you can see that here that they're just setting up, but they lost focus of what makes the movie compelling. Like this just feels like a setup, for another movie, Yeah, and Doomsday, I thought he was fine, not that much to him. He's just this big threat to the third act. I think he did a good job. The death of Superman kind of felt a little random, and even though what it gave us is Zack Snyder's Justice League, not the Justice League, but like I thought that paid off very well. But if you just watch this movie, it does feel a little random. And again, you rush this. Like if you had more movies and then have this depth, then it would feel a lot more because you've been through this journey with them much longer. But this is only his second movie, so it doesn't feel earned. But yeah, so that's it. And then oh yeah, and Wonder Woman, she was great. That entrance was so awesome. Like and her music playing like by Hans Zimmer's, that was great. Like I thought that was like one of the best entrances. Like Deadpool would be proud, bro. So yeah, like that's Batman v Superman. Not as bad as I think it is that other people think, but it just could have been better. Like if they just took its time with it and make their setup before they make this movie. So that's that. All right, and number eighth place, I have Batman Returns. Not a lot of people like Tim Burton movies. I think they're fine. I mean, these are the two ones that I've only seen. This one is it's really dark and bleak. Like, and I get it, it's Batman, but like, there has to be like some point where I'm like, okay, that's a little too much. And here it's just like goes really crazy. Like even though I like this cast, like Danny DeVito as Penguin, he's great. Like his own version. He looks a little weird, but yeah, that's just Tim Burton doing his thing. Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer is a great actress. I really liked her version. Although I don't really like how she becomes Catwoman. Like she gets pushed off a window, and then she falls to the ground, and then some cats like lick her forehead, and suddenly she gets all crazy and like yeah, that's a little bit of a logic issue right there. Um, and Michael Keaton's Batman, always great. Maybe not the best looking or best intimidating Batman, but he's that iconic Batman that everyone remembers. Like you remember him when you think of Batman. The score from Danny Elfman is phenomenal as always. Like Danny Elfman has made so many awesome scores, and this one is just great. And the movie in general is just a little all over the place. Like the Penguin's motivation, I don't really get what he's doing. Like first he wants to know where his parents are, and then he finds out, but then he suddenly wants to run for mayor, but then that doesn't work out, and then he suddenly wants to kidnap children, and then suddenly he straps rockets to penguins, and then just wants to blow up the city. Like it's just all over the place with him. Like what's the plot here? And like with Tim Burton, I don't think he likes the character of Batman because he's not really in this movie that much. Like it's mostly just the villains. And Max Schreck, like Christopher Walken is always a great addition to any movie. But I didn't think he was that great as much as it was to Penguin and Catwoman, even though he is a bit intimidating. Like he legit tries to kill Catwoman, and he manipulates manipulates Penguin. And although I did like how when Penguin was like, oh, like he wants to capture his son, and then he goes like, oh no, capture me, don't capture my son. I'm like little moments like that may go like, oh, okay, I like those. Like it just shows a little bit of human in him, you know. Like I like that, you know. Even though he just dies like scenes after, but like yeah, like for that moment, that was cool, you know. The fights are fine, not the best, but they're okay, and and again, Gotham looks very great. Looks very beautiful. You get these long shots of everyone like in the snow and all buildings everywhere. So yeah, overall, it's a good enough Batman movie. I would watch it again. Maybe after I watched the first one, like maybe like 40% of the time, like after I watched the first one, like okay, I'm gonna watch, probably go watch the second one, I guess. So yeah, it's a good enough. It's a good enough movie. Not the most rewatchable, but I think it's a good enough Batman movie to rewatch, and just a good movie overall. So yeah. In number seventh place, um, I have The Dark Knight Rises. Now I know a lot of people are very mixed on this. There are people that absolutely love it, and other people that really that don't like it. I'm mixed. Like there are a lot of moments that are really great, like the other two movies. Like when Batman is carrying that bomb across the ocean, and you just see his face, and like he doesn't even say anything. Like you just look at him. Like it's just like a really powerful moment right there, you know. And then the bomb goes off, and everyone thinks he's dead for a little bit, and then in the last scene, like Alfred looks and he sees Bat or Bruce Wayne over there, and he just smiles, and it's just really great stuff. Bane is a really great villain, like Tom Hardy, like he is awesome. Like his voice, I loved it. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, like she's all right. Not much to her. I thought she was okay. Not that much to do with her. I don't I don't just really know like what her motives are really, but she was like an all right addition to it. Talia al Ghul, I did not like that at all. The twist, like, I just didn't think it worked. She's not really a good villain. She doesn't really have a presence. And the twist saying that she's like behind everything. She's that the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, like oh she's the reason why everything happens. Like no, that kind of hurt this movie. Like I didn't really buy it, and it sucks because it made Bane just like this henchman or something, like this puppet. Like he's not the main villain, and his death was kind of dumb. Like he just gets shot. Like that's it. Like the bruh, and Talia's death was pretty weird. Like she just looks at Batman and just like shakes her head and then closes her eyes. I'm like, bruh. It's like, and there's some logic issues here. Like Batman getting his back broken, and he stays in this like a deep hole thing, and but somehow he like fixes his back, and when he gets out of the hole he somehow makes it back to Gotham without anything. It's weird, but I'm very mixed on it because there's so many great moments about this movie, and some moments that me go and it's weird because like Christopher Nolan is such a fantastic director. Like all of his movies, like his scripts are like close to perfect in almost all of them. Like not making these mistakes about like story issues. But like in here, there are some. It's just really weird because like he doesn't do that. So yeah, like it's a good enough movie. I would watch it again. But there's gonna be some times where I'm just gonna be rolling my eyes because like how the weird choices there are. So that's that. In number six spot, I have Batman 1989. Um, I've noticed that like recently that a lot of people are very mixed on this movie. Like there's some story issues with it, and some of the side characters are not good. I can see that, but like, it, I enjoyed the movie. Like, even though I do see the flaws, I still think it's a really good movie. Like, Michael Keaton as Batman, like, it was just so great. Like in the movie in general, like, it just like brought superheroes to like the next level, like what Superman did, and then what this movie did. I thought it was just great, like so iconic. The score, it was just so great. The look of Gotham, like it looks amazing. And Jack Nicholson as Joker, like fantastic, like a classic Joker. Like if you wanna talk about that. And even though he's a little old, like he can still play the part. Like he's intimidating. He's a little bit crazy. He's very entertaining. Like he just steals the scenes in almost the whole movie. Um, like like there's this one scene where like he talks to Batman, and he always says like this monologue. I forgot what it was, and then like, do you ever like dance in the pale moonlight or something? And Batman goes like, what? And then it matters later because he said that before he killed his parents. So like that was a cool scene right there. How Joker is the one that killed his parents. Like, no, I didn't. I wasn't a fan of that. Like that didn't really give any impact to me, and it looks like neither did the movie because like when Batman found out, like he didn't really do anything about it. Like it was like, oh okay, like boom, well that's a shame. So that was weird, and like this is another thing, like where everyone's complaining about like how in Batman v Superman that Batman's killing people, but they don't say that. They don't talk about like in this movie he kills a lot of people, but no one says anything. It's a little weird, but yeah. So I love this. This is a great movie. Like yes, it has flaws, but it's very rewatchable. I would watch it again if I wanted to. It's great, despite its flaws. I just think it has a lot of potential here. And I think it hit most of it. Yeah. So coming in fifth place. Yeah, fifth place is the Lego Batman movie. Now, the Lego movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely loved that movie. Like, I thought it was just fantastic. And this one, I thought was really great too. And talking about more Bruce Wayne than Batman, like how he's all lonely and like there's like he's in his penthouse or like mansion and in his cave, and he's like eating like lobster and like playing the guitar, but you could see like how lonely he is, and like he just watches TV, and then he talks to his parents and on the painting, and you see how sad he is, like being lonely. Like it's like really cool, like emotion like you get from him, like this side of Batman, like where he just wants to like be like in a family, you know? And then the whole movie, they show you that, like with Robin and Batgirl or Batwoman and Alfred, and they all team up together. And then by the end, like he just realized, like, oh, I just needed a family, you know? And like it's just really great stuff. Like those moments, like you can relate that to like anyone who's alone. Like, oh, you just need someone, you know? And the animation is really great too. Uh, it gets a little crazy at the third act, like with everyone things showing up, like the eye from Lord of the Rings and Lord Voldemort and everything. Like it's a little over the top, but I thought this was a great movie, and it's very great for family if you ever want to watch like these kinds of Batman movies. I would watch this again if I wanted to. And in fourth place, we have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. This was another first time watch a few weeks ago. I thought it was very well made, very great story, very great characters, and showing how Batman is learning all this, like how to fight, and like his like this origin story for him, and like, oh, he has to protect these people and stuff. Also, like the villain of Phantasm, like like she has this like really creepy presence throughout the whole movie. Like when he goes and kills people who have done bad deeds, like it was really great. The animation is so beautiful, especially at the time. Like I think this was like in 1993. Like it looks really good. Yeah, and Mark Hamill's Joker, he was. I mean, it's Mark Hamill. Of course, he's gonna be great. Like he was just such a fantastic part. Even though he's not the main villain, that's Phantasm, but he just has his presence throughout the movie, and I thought that was great. And just in general, like it was just a great movie. You know, it's a little short, and maybe I'll watch this again, cause like maybe because I haven't watched like the animated series, so I probably should. And maybe like after that, I probably would watch it more often because like it is a really great movie. It's just could have been longer, you know. That's all I have to say. In third place, I have Batman Begins. Now, the I think that is the perfect movie for Batman's origin story. Like they show you how he becomes the Batman, and that he has to be the savior of Gotham. And they do a really good job of that setup. Like, how does he become that? Where he joins like the League of Assassins, and he's all working out like with his muscular body and learning how to train and stuff, and teaching him from Ra's al Ghul. Like Liam Neeson is a really great actor, and he's really great in this movie. And then see him finally becoming Batman, it's really satisfying. And it's like such a great moment when he says like, "I'm Batman." Like it's such a great move, great scene. The cast is just phenomenal. Like maybe Rachel Dawes, like maybe the only exception, but everything else is great. Like yeah, Christian Bale. Like I don't think he was like famous in anything before this. And here, like he's just his time to shine, you know? Like he was such a great Bruce Wayne and a great Batman. You can see like the talent that he has here. And Michael Caine as Alfred, he's like this father figure to Bruce Wayne. I thought that was really great too. Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon. I mean, it's Gary Oldman. Like he's a fantastic actor, and he was great in this movie too, and the Dark Knight Rises too. and I mean the whole trilogy in general. But yeah, and Morgan Freeman, and he was great too. And I love that scene where like Bruce Wayne is driving the Tumbler, and he asks Morgan Freeman like, "Oh, does it come in black?" I'm like, it's such a great moment for him. And in the Tumbler in general, like a lot of people don't like that Batmobile. That's fine. Like it is a little distracting that it doesn't look like a Batmobile, but it's cool that it has like it's like this big military mobile, and so they made it realistic, and I liked what they were going for. So I like it enough, you know. Killian Murphy as Scarecrow was really awesome. Like he has this scary presence in the film where he tosses like gases, and then you see like your greatest fear, and it's all scary when he sees it. And wears this like this rag bag thing on his head. Like it's really great. And the only thing I could say is like the fight scenes look a little weird. Like the shaky cameras, like it keeps cutting back to like different shots. It's a little distracting. But and another scene where like he Batman defeats this crime boss, but then it slows down for a bit, and then he finds the main villain. Like they kind of had to do something about that. Other than that, this is a great movie, a great origin story for Batman. I really like this movie much. And second place, I thought about this for a little bit, but I'm gonna go with Dark Knight. Like, even though Dark Knight is really great, is so fantastic, so well written. I mean, Heath Ledger as Joker, like everyone talks about him when it comes to this movie. Like, just such a great performance from him, and it really sucks that he passed away, and he won this Oscar, cause like the whole movie, he just steals the scene, even from Christian Bale, and they're both on screen like a lot of times. So yeah, he was just phenomenal. And Aaron Eckhart as Two Face, I thought he was great too. Like he's this this white knight that's supposed to be like the face of Gotham, but then he just turns into Two Face after he loses Rachel Dawes, and then he just fails the city, and then he goes on a he gets mad and plans to kill people, and then you could see like that Batman, like you can see that he feels like he failed, and it was just such a powerful moment, such a dark moment, and like this, and you can feel like the budget here was much bigger. Like you get these wide open shots, like that scene where the Batman is in a chase scene with the Joker in a truck, and they're all driving around, and then Batman like puts like this grapple hook around them, and then the truck just goes flying off and then lands back on its head. Like I was, and that's all practical. Like it's so cool, you know. And like the whole movie, like again, the cast is great. Like it's just phenomenal, you know. It's just such a great movie, like a good crime thriller. Everyone says it's one of their favorite movies of all time, and I can see it because it is really great. It's an awesome movie. But my number one is the Batman. Even though the Dark Knight is really awesome, the Batman just hit me much more because like it's so serious, it's so dark, and like you have this different type of Batman, and like him being an investigation with Jim Gordon, and finding out who this Riddler is and where is he. It was so great. Like in general, like how Gotham has been, like all the crime has been is way up, and how everyone has their own like reasons for why they're like this. Like Batman, he's a like a younger age. He's more dark and more like in pain. He does not care if he dies. Like he's like a suicidal Batman. And like even as Bruce Wayne, he still acts like Batman. Like they're he in the whole movie, he has to learn that even though he is Batman saving people, he also has to be Bruce Wayne, because there's has to be some light in that darkness that he is in all the time. And I thought that was great. And the cast here was great. Like Robert Pattinson, you don't see him as just a vampire. You see him as Batman, dude. 'Cause he is. Colin Farrell was fantastic as Penguin. Like he deserves an Oscar because you do not see him as Colin Farrell or sound like him. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, I thought was really great. They gave her a backstory. You understand why she's like this and why she does the things she do. And I really like the interreactions with her and Batman. Thought was really great. And Batman and Jim Gordon are like a buddy cop movie. Like they're like working together like almost the whole movie. I thought that was really great. The Riddler was fantastic. He has like this Zodiac feeling mixed with Jigsaw and a little bit of Ghostface. I thought it was great. Like Paul Dano did a really great performance, and then the visuals look so fantastic. Like Matt Reeves know how to use like visuals to the screen, and he knows how to bring emotion that you're supposed to feel. Like you feel that through this whole movie. I just thought this was a fantastic movie. Like I loved it. I gave it an A+, 10 out of 10. This might be one of my favorite superhero movies of all time, and it's just so well made, and I loved it beginning from end, and yeah, and that's why it's number one. So that is my ranking, and if I and I feel like if I have time and later, I could do probably other rankings, maybe like Spider-Man rankings once that new Spider-Verse movie comes out, or other movies. I'll have to see if I have time, but yeah, I really enjoyed this review, this ranking, and hopefully I'll be able to do more, and I hope you liked it too. So, see you later.